Hey everybody, and welcome to this part of Let's Play Final Fantasy 1. I'm Doug, and I'm ready to get started. How about you? So, last episode, we defeated the Fire Elemental Archfiend, and now we need to continue on our journey. So, next place we're going to be going is the, water dungeon, so we're going to need to, get an item. I think it's called the Oxy Ale, that's going to, allow us to basically breathe underwater. So a place we need to go to next is going to be the town of Onrac, and it's that place right there. And unfortunately we're going to have to land a little ways away from it, but I'm not too worried. Although, okay, we're not doing too bad, but I'm just going to, first actually going to sort everything. Alright, and then from here I'm just going to use a tent so that way everyone's topped off and everything. So, basically what's happening right now, not so much in the game we're just walking, but in, real life, I just uploaded all, the previous videos, finally got around to doing that, and, I'm gonna try to be a little more consistent in terms of uploading, but, you know, life has a way of slowing you down, I guess, so, I'll try to be on as much as I can and try to make these videos, but unfortunately, like I said, might not be the most consistent, but I'm going to try to do better about that. And speaking of doing better, I was watching all my old videos, and, you know, obviously, they're cringy, you know, I'm getting better, but I have a lot of improvement I need to do. And one thing I realized is I kind of stopped asking for feedback in the past couple episodes, so I'm going to try to be better about that. But just in the future, you know, if you happen to cross my videos and you see it and you think, hey, I want to help this guy out, or if you see something you really hate and you want me to change it, just let me know. I'd love to improve on these videos. Like, I do this for a hobby. Evidence, you know, to the point I barely ever upload. But, you know, I want this to, you know, reflect a good quality on me. So, you know, if you have any feedback, feel free to give it to me always, and I appreciate it. And, you know, I want this to be something that, you know, anyone can enjoy. So we're safe, and we're back at Onrac. And I really do love this music. It's been kind of stressful these past couple of weeks for me. My family's getting ready to move. And so we're gonna make this 14. Okay, there we go. I think we're actually all set. Sorry, yeah. There we go. And we're gonna make that. There we go. Oh, wow, that was not too much, but still. Anyways, and we'll get 2 of these, okay. Yeah, me and my family were moving, and it's just been a little stressful. Like, I don't know, moving always is. So, like, I'm just happy to be back and playing this, and just sitting down and doing it. It's become a really nice thing for me. Okay, let's, do some voices. That Underhill fellow from the caravan had something awfully weird for sale. Look at my legs. Aren't they wonderful? I love having legs. Look, look. Did you see that move I just did? Okay, that's a little odd. You ever hear of something called Oxy Ale? Yes, I have. They say that the shrine sank into the sea 200 years ago. Now there are mermaids living there, or so the story goes. Mermaids, you say? Ooh, pirates. Out of me way, son of I haven't been able to catch me a single fish. How am I supposed to keep food on me plate in me belly? You know, that's a really nice way of getting around the fact that they had to censor this game probably for kids, and they just take all the questionable things out and make it a hiccup, which I'm sorry I could not do on command. Cope's been spreading some nonsense story about how he saw some shining thing fall out of the sky. Ooh, a shooting star. I can't remember what that's for. Is this Cope? They say this used to be a beautiful village until about 200 years ago. Yikes. I mean, you don't have to be that rude to your home. Although, I kind of hate my hometown too, so it's cool. Are those legs really yours? Yikes. Okay, so, in Onrac, there are 2 spells that we can get. Null Death. I think, we're gonna... Heliga. Okay, yeah. So Heliga, can only be used by Lily, so I think we'll give, Null Death over to Walt, because he's not gonna be able to use anything else. Because he's barred from most level 7 magic and all level 7 black magic, I think, yep. Okay, yep. So, Saber is really useful because it's basically a temper, but, you know, you raise your accuracy so it's boosted, and Blind's kind of useful because it'll blind foes, make it a little easier for you to dodge. But unfortunately we can't use those. But, you know, I'm learning Walt's strength, so I'm not too worried. And, hey, there's a dragon here. Amazing! Humans have been honored by the Dragon King. Okay, what do you have to say? My father's with the caravan right now. They're over in the desert to the west. They usually pitch camp by the forest near the north of the desert. I hope he comes home soon. And there's a witch doubting my legs. Long ago, an ancient race known as the Sky People used a language called Lufenian. My brother, would always talk about it, telling me how he could speak it if he only had the Rosetta Stone. The sunken shrine is said to be filled with riches. Silver, gold, diamonds, even tablets describing lost languages and civilizations if you believe the legends. Alright. Alright, so I think that's everything to do in the town right now. Oh, yeah. I wanted to save the mermaids living on the seafloor, so I made a submarine out of a barrel. But when I went underwater, I started running out of air and I couldn't breathe. It's totally useless. Even worse, it's dangerous. You better keep away. Hi, my name's Cope. You want to hear about the shining object I saw? I think it came down somewhere near the waterfall to the north. No one believes me, but I think it was some kind of mechanical creature. Okay, yeah, now I know what this is. 200 years ago, the shrine of Onrac flourished. It brimmed with the power of water. I ask but one thing of you. Please, restore that power to its former grace. Okay, there you go. So yeah, that's the story of Onrac so far. It's a town where apparently people have fake legs, and where the I guess water shrine temple is. So next stage of our journey is actually going to be to waterfall, the only waterfall on the world map. It's just slightly northwest of the town here. It's technically north by northwest because we are on the northwest continent. So north by northwest, you know, like south by southwest. So there's this one cave here, waterfall cave. It's a pretty simple dungeon, all things considered. There's not a whole lot we're going to have to worry about. It's only one floor, and all the treasures are in the same area. They are as follow: the wizard staff, the ribbon, 13,450 gil, 6,400 gil, 5,000 gil, the defender, and like the item we're looking to get here, that shiny object. Let's use that Firaga. It's the only thing we can use. I actually kind of want to see what the animation is for Hyliga. It's actually going to be really useful. I think I mentioned earlier, like, you reach a point in the game, or like, I mentioned earlier that one of the things that really slows Final Fantasy 1 down is the combat, and like how I would, it's basically like this would be a very quick game if you didn't have to worry about fighting enemies. And I think this is the point where it feels like they're really padding for time, whereas before, like, most of the dungeons felt like, you know, the enemies you ran into posed a real serious threat. There are occasionally a few enemies now that are dangerous, but I think it's at this point in the game where we've like really reached like the point where we have enough spells and good equipment and stats where we can handle most enemies, and it feels like most of the time you're just mashing A. Now that I'm complaining, mind you, I like this because, you know, at this point in the game you can still be a little bit behind. So like us having an easy time right now feels like it's been, you know, fought for. And I like just that, I like that long, steady kind of grind thing going, where it's like, you know, if you keep fighting, even if the XP you build is small, you're still building up XP. I really want Lily to use Hyliga. Just want to see how well it works, but oh well. The nightmare. Alright. Bum 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 ba da da na. Alright. Okay, yeah. So the dungeon itself is pretty straightforward. I just kind of do not know these dungeons as well as I would like to pretend. So really, actually, the main prize of the dungeon, it's closer to the entrance. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Reading that map wrong, sorry. I'm looking at a map on the side and it's just kind of tripping me up a little bit. Got my eyes on two things. Oh yeah, I forgot to go over what the items do. So the wizard staff is kind of useful. Like you know, the gauntlet and other things. If you use it as an item, it'll cast Confuse on enemies. The ribbon's going to be really nice because it'll ward off all the special attacks, so it's extremely useful. Then, you know, there's obviously the Gil, and then there's the Defender, which will cast Blink on you if you use it as an item, so that's going to be nice. And there's going to be like one of those like tile guards, and it's going to be the Cockatrice, so like they'll try to use stone on us. I think I'm going to get the ribbon to Lily, just because like stats-wise, I think it's better to have Lily be protected instead of like the other characters, because Lily can, you know, revive and heal everybody. Speaking of healing, I'm just gonna pad for time with this. Like, one thing I really do like about, like, I guess kind of the pacing of this game is that, like, you have these breaks in between every crystal you get where you have to gather, like, you know, supplies and stuff, so it's not just like, oh hey, quick, like, you know, there's like, there's still hoops you have to go through to get to it. Alright. So here's the Cockatrice. Oh, there's also Pyrolisks. I think those might be like fire elementals, so, actually what we're gonna do is we're going to have you attack him, use that, and then you're gonna attack this guy, and then we are going to heal a guy again just to be safe. But yeah, like I like that kind of like I guess pacing thing that's going on right now. Oh wow, they went down quick. All right, got the wizard staff. We got the ribbon. I'm gonna put that on Lily immediately just in case. All right. All right. Oh, that's actually gonna be really cool. Like it replaces the leather cap and it has the same stats as it. So. Oh. Sorry about that. Like I said, interruptions. We're moving. This might actually be a little tough. Alright, here goes nothing. Although it's funny, like, now that I, you know, the whole last episode, I, had that whole warming up to Walt joke and talked about, like, trying to use him more and see him as more useful. He's actually been doing really well this, dungeon. And boom, he just one-shotted all those guys. It would have been nice if he could use teleport, but he can't. That's a small change compared to everything else. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, because I realized I was interrupted, and I lost the thought. But basically, the warp cube we got is actually going to be for the final of the 4 Archfiend dungeons. Basically, I just want to get it early. This is a relatively easy dungeon, and we're in the same area, basically. And the whole idea of that, I guess, them mentioning it in that town is just because, we're going to be here, so I figured we'd get it, and it does kind of seem like the most logical step, and it's one of those nice things where it's like you find that item that's completely useless, like the rat's tail. Like, you could conceivably get it earlier than we did, and then you don't know what it's for until you got it. But yeah, the actually relevant thing for this next dungeon that we're going to is going to be in the desert. And like I guess kind of goes back to that like idea I've been endlessly yammering about, where where it's like, I'm amazed people are able to figure out these games without guides, and it's like one of those things where it's like, if you didn't have a guide, like all you had to go off of was like, basically your map, and just like what those villagers told you, and think, okay, anything could be relevant. If it seems like I'm kind of like, panning for time with these fights and everything, because it's just kind of a continuous back track, essentially, it's because this can be a little light on everything. This is a setup episode, basically. Like, next episode we'll be tackling the water dungeon, and from there we'll set up for the air dungeon, and then we'll actually be pretty close to the end game. It's gonna be really cool finishing this game 2 times. I'm excited because I've been researching the post-game dungeons, the like the cutscenes we saw of like those statues getting removed. They're for the post-game dungeons, so I'm excited to do them because I think they'll actually be a bit of a challenge. Apparently, there's like a lot of randomness involved, like the maps being completely random, and you had to figure it out on your own. And in order to complete the dungeons in full, you have to actually like go through the dungeon like 3 different times. So I'm excited, and apparently the dungeons actually like have like little shout outs to like other Final Fantasy games. So I'm really cool to I think it's gonna be really cool, and I'm super excited to see it. Alright, we've got that part done, and so now we're gonna get ready to go to the desert. Like, one of my favorite tropes in, like, I guess kind of fantasy is like desert areas. Like, I think it's because like as a kid I like everybody, I grew up on Star Wars. So like, Tatooine, it just seems to me like deserts are like a fun area for like beginnings and stuff. And also like the game Kingdom Hearts. I freaking love those games. And like Agrabah just kind of always stuck with me. It was like one of the first worlds you go to. It's kind of like the halfway point of the game, I think. Or the end of the first third, basically. But it's, closer to, it's closer to the middle. But like Agrabah just always stuck with me, like the music and everything. It was just like one of my favorite areas. So like, basically what I'm saying is like deserts and like fantasy settings are one of my like favorite things ever. So I think, yeah, this is a desert right here. Is there a close landing spot? Okay, that's good. Landing in this game can be really annoying. Like, if I'm gonna be totally honest, like my least favorite thing is when like the music's playing and then you start to descend and then it's like oh hey, you can't touch down here, and then just picks back up again and it's like all blaring and everything. Like the flying music's alright, but at the same time I'm a little annoyed by it. But I will never be annoyed by this music. I'm not annoyed by this music so much as it's just kind of like it just interrupts the good tone music. But the caravan, he sells a bottled fairy, kind of like Zelda. We saw a Gray for Link, and now there's a fairy that's in a bottle. So in order to get this, you're gonna need 40,000 gil. If you've been playing kind of quickly, trying to breeze through things, and if you got unlucky, you're probably might be a little strapped for gil at this point. But since I get every single chest in the game and fight just about every fight I can, this isn't gonna hurt us at all. So there's only one to get, and that's it. And like, look, we were barely even touched at all, so that's great. And that's something I like just about grinding and I guess being a little loser gamer boy. Just getting a bunch of materials, and then like that's my favorite thing is like when you have to buy something for the game, like be it like ammunition or like a plot item like this, and then it's just like, oh hey, I already have so much money, I don't need to worry about it. Like it just feels nice not having to worry about like paying for something, and then it's like when you do pay for it, it's like, oh hey, I'm fine, I have tons of money left over. But so afterwards, this guy, he will sell tonics. The giant's tonic, the giant's tonic, the fairy tonic, the strength tonic, the protect drink, the speed drink. They'll increase certain stat respectively. Giant will increase HP, fairy will increase MP, strength will raise attack, protect, defense, and speed, agility. They'll do it temporarily. I'm not quite sure how long it'll last. I think it's just kind of like per battle. I'll correct that if I am wrong. But they're not incredibly useful. Like leveling up and items that you equip will work just fine. But if you feel like you're playing and it's just not working out, and you want like just that extra kick to help you in a particularly tough fight, these might be a good option. Like definitely like the strength tonic can help because it's basically like temper, so don't need to waste MP on it. Gosh, I love this music. Alright, let's cross the desert. So yeah, now that we've got that ferry, the next thing we need to do is we need to head back into the town Onrac. I don't know how it's pronounced, like Onrac? Onrac? Onrac. I've been pronouncing it Onrac. I don't know. Like, I love actually the names of all these towns and stuff. Like, they sound very unique and original without sounding like, like cliche, I guess, fantasy places. And like, even if I have a hard time with them, like I absolutely love them because like I play D&D and like I make all my own kind of like content. So like I had to name all the cities and towns and villages and everything. So it's like these names are just so original that I just like appreciate that, even if like I'd never copy them or use them. I just think like it's just like one of those really cool things, and it goes back to this game, you know, being based off of like the first edition of Dungeons and Dragons. And maybe they just ripped the names off from that, I don't know, but I think the names sound really cool, so. We get to see some more cool palette swaps of enemies. And they go down quick. And so we have to return to Onrac. Alright, I think it's like around here. Oh. Okay. So there's something that we have to do with the ferry here. I can't remember oh wait. Nope, it's not that. Alright. So I'm gonna try to figure this out quickly, and if I Alright, give me a quick sec, sorry. So I was a dummy and I skipped a portion of my notes. Yeah. So apparently we're supposed to return to Gaia. Yeah, you remember that place? And we're supposed to release the ferry there. It's been a little while since I played this game, and the notes I've been taking have been getting a little sloppy lately, because I kind of figured, hey, I'm not going to be like 100% accurate and like give all the stats and everything, because I just don't know it all well enough. So, yep, this video's that much longer. Sorry about that. But hey, now I have the chance to ramble about something that's not related to Final Fantasy. What's been on my mind lately? I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm just kind of in like one of those weird spots in life where, you know, you're like, hey, like, I'm okay, but just okay. Like, I'm not like super good. Like, you know, just okay. And that's kind of like a weird spot for me, because it's either like, you know, complete crisis or like, you know, everything's awesome. Like, this is one of those weird in-between spots. And hey, here we go. Now the ferry's gonna get released. Because honestly, the idea of buying a living creature that's kind of sentient is really disturbing. And okay, because there's a very specific way we gotta go about this. Nope. Alright, because there is like a forest thing north here, or did I read my notes wrong again? Okay. Okay, here we go. Honestly, that's my one like complaint about the way they handle this maps. It's like if you go the wrong way, because like there's no clear indicator that, hey, some of these places will send you outside again. Like, I wish they would be a little more like fixy on that. But I mean, they fix it in later games, but it's just in this one that it kind of bugs me. And here we go. No, that's church. Is this it? Please be this. Yeah, I think so. I think actually we went out this way before, and I said we'd come back later. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Here we go. And here's the ferry. You're the ones who rescued me from that bottle. I'm sorry about running away, but I was so scared. I'll get you some oxy ale from the bottom of the spring to make up for it, okay? And here's that oxy ale we were talking about earlier. This will allow us to go underwater and I think actually breathe water. So I don't know if like ale is used in other contexts, but I wonder if this is just like an ale, like the alcoholic drink that gives you oxygen. Air will flow out of that water for as long as you have it. Okay, so it's like water. Alright. So anyways, now we are supposed to return to Onrac, where we can continue with this adventure, but I've kept you long enough. So, like I said, entertaining things happen when when mistakes occur. So I hope you had fun. I appreciate you checking out the video. If you have any kind of feedback, please share it with me, because I only want to improve. I hope you had fun. I did. I'm Doug, and I'm happy you're here. Take care.